All right, welcome back. It's just me and you now. We're gonna finish the show together. We're gonna talk about how to mentally prepare for marriage. I have a story that I wanted to share with you to really anchor the lessons we're going to learn in this last segment. This is the most important segment of the show. So it's not going to be a long masterclass, but this is the masterclass aspect of things. Okay. But yes, let's talk about how to mentally prepare for marriage despite the Judge Mathis getting married to someone like a Tyrese and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, let's talk about it. So I thought we were unbreakable until everything fell apart. So let me go ahead and read the email to you. Welcome, Bumi. Good to see you, Bumi. And welcome to everybody behind the scenes that never chats too. I know there are many of you. All right, so let's do this. All right. Dear man of prestige, I'm gonna read it fast first, then I'll go see if I can. I don't want to waste too much time though. But let me read it fast. Let me see if you guys can pick up some things already. Whatever you're picking up, whatever advice you have, put them in the chat and the comments. But let me read fast through, then I'll come back and see if I can do some analysis here. Okay. Dear Mary Prestige, I'm not even sure where to begin, but I've been following your content for a while and I felt compelled to share my story. It's painful to recount, but I hope that by writing this, I might find some understanding or at least a place to be heard. For almost 20 years, I believe I was living the dream with my husband. We were the couple everyone looked up to. Tyrese said it's couple goals people. We were the couple that everyone looked up to. Two people who had found their way to each other through thick and thin. Our story started like a fairy tale. We met in our late 20s, both of us coming from broken homes, both determined to build something lasting and beautiful. He was my rock, my best friend. Hold on, I need to cough. Hold on. Lord have mercy. I needed to cough. Sorry. All right, so our story started like a fairy tale. We met in our late 20s, both of us coming from broken homes, both determined to build something lasting and beautiful. He was my rock, my best friend, and the person I believed would be with me until the end. For the first for the first few years, everything seemed perfect. We had our challenges like any couple, but we always found our way back to each other. I trusted him deeply, and I believed that no matter what happened, our love would see us through. But somewhere along the way, things began to change. Suddenly, at first, almost unnoticeable. He started staying late at work more often. When I'd ask him about his day, his answers were short, almost rehearsed. I tried not to read too much into it. After all, every marriage goes through phases, right? Right? But it wasn't just late nights. His touch became less frequent, his laughter less genuine. We used to talk about everything, but now our conversations felt like small talk with a stranger, as opposed to my G. That's my G. But then it started to feel like a stranger. I suggested counseling, thinking maybe we just needed some guidance to find our way back to each other. He agreed, but he never seemed fully present in the sessions. I kept pushing forward, thinking that I tried hard enough. I could fix whatever was wrong, but the harder I tried, the more distant he became. Then I stumbled upon the truth. I discovered he had been confiding in another woman for months. What hurt the most was not the emotional affair itself, although that shattered me, but the fact that he chose to share our struggle with her instead. He chose to share our struggles with her instead of with me. He painted himself as the victim of a marriage that wasn't working, and I was the antagonist in his story. I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. I confronted him, hoping for some remorse, some explanation that would make sense of the mess we were in. Instead, he seemed almost relieved that it was out in the open. He admitted he had been unhappy for a long time, that he felt trapped and misunderstood, and that he didn't see a way forward for us. I tried to hold on, man of prestige. I really did. I put my pride aside and fought for us, for the life we had built together. I suggested we start over, take a break, anything that would keep us from throwing away 20 years of marriage. but his mind was made up. A few weeks later, he filed for divorce. Now I find myself alone, battling a mixture of emotions. I can't quite make sense of anger, betrayal, confusion, and a deep, aching sadness. I look back and wonder if there were signs I missed or if there was something I could have done differently. It's hard not to feel like a failure when you've invested so much of yourself in someone who simply decides it's over. I'm sharing this with you because I don't know where else to turn. I don't want sympathy or platitudes. I'm not looking for advice on how to move on. I'm not even sure if I'm ready for that yet. I just needed someone to hear my story raw and unfiltered. Because maybe in some way it will help others see the importance of truly knowing who you're marrying and the reality that love alone isn't always enough. Thank you for listening. What y'all think? Let me come to the chat. What do you guys think? That's the end of the story. What do you guys think? I know you guys are waiting to hear the end. That was the end of the movie. How would you advise this person based off of what you've been hearing from me, or just your own thing, whatever you think personally? What would you think? Yeah. Can you say, dang, that hurts? All right. It's tough. These things are tough. I told you, when a man collects shege from a woman, well, in this case, she's the one that collects shege, right? Right? Wrong. They both collect shege. Remember that he's also said he has been distant for a long time, something like that, right? These are the things that people deal with. These are the things you want to pay attention to. A lot of people get into marriage and they just wing it. We've been together. We've been together for so long. So this shouldn't, like, what else are you looking for? What else are you looking for? You have to want like, if I don't hate you, like, a lot of people do that until years later you find out that actually there's been a disconnect. But just what do you mean disconnect? Emotional disconnect. Emotional disconnect is not necessarily anybody's fault. It's just a matter of people that haven't been paying attention for a long time. What did Jada Pinkett Smith say? Like, I haven't been happy for so long. I know. Yeah. This is how it goes a lot of ways. Devil's advocate Chidima says we need to hear the other side of the story. Yeah. That's a need indeed. But what can we learn thus far? That's a need indeed, absolutely. But what can we learn thus far? There are a couple of things we can learn. Let me see. I think I might have extracted. Let's see. A couple of things. I don't know. You guys will number it for me. Chidima, help me. Help me number a couple of things that I picked out from this. Okay. Now, marriage is a beautiful thing when you get it right. Well, if it's such a beautiful thing, you shouldn't expect that it'll be easy. Easy should not be relevant. You should precisely expect that it to be hard, it to be tested. There will be pressure, there will be painful moments, but the winners, they win in due time. Yes, just in time. They win in due time. Same ni, Bumi Amara says same ni. E. Samore says that's typically a woman's story. Mary Parker says so sad. Shout out to you, Mary Parker and Esther. Good to see you guys. Men are usually the ones who don't notice. No, the reality is that we do get complacent inside of marriage. Okay, but I'm also willing to bet that is. We don't know what we don't know. Like, these are not things that your husband knows, but he just wants to willingly hurt you. A lot of women think from that standpoint, which is why they hold so much resentment in. If you think of it as he just doesn't know what he doesn't know, it's actually easier for you to solve for a lasting solution, because then all we have to do is awareness, all we have to do is education, and then you have to learn how to actually do that, because if you educate from the wrong standpoint, it can come off as confrontational and can come off as very disrespectful. And you know that respect is a man's food. So it's not going to produce any good fruit if he feels, not if you mean to, if he feels any sense of disrespect. So yeah, because I think she should let go and seek healing. Okay. Letting go is always a big piece of the moves that we need to make here. So letting go does not necessarily mean it needs to be the end of the marriage, but letting go is going to be big in a lot of ways. Okay. And I can break that down as to get if we have enough time. Winging issues is never a good thing. It will blow up in your face. That's literally what people do, unfortunately, for the most part inside of marriage. Right? They just think, you're supposed to know you committed, so just stay here and use your mouth to talk. Use your mouth to talk if you have issues. I cannot read minds. This is how they're thinking. And like you said, it's probably going to blow up in their face. I know.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know? So as you can see, the statements are not wrong. Use your mouth to talk. But it's not relevant if it's right or wrong. Right? That person probably doesn't feel safe to even speak to you, because it already sounds like you're not even open to hearing, because you're probably going to shut it down as soon as you start hearing it. Hey, is that why you are angry? You could just tell me that, like, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. You fight not the flesh. You fight not the flesh. She says she doesn't want advice. I know, but all these people listening here right now, all 23 of us, we want advice. It could be any one of us. I agree with you, Bumi, but it's for us here. But actually, if you read it very well, she sent me in the beginning of the email, she said, it's painful to recount, but I hope that by writing this, I might find some understanding and at least a place to be heard. And at the end, she also said, I'm not looking for advice. So people that are going through a painful state in marriage, they tend to be confused lots. Okay. In one breath, they will tell you they don't care.
Don't care. Still don't care.
Well, in the very next statement, they will tell you everything that's wrong with the other person.
How, Sway?
Confusion. I don't care. I can just go, everybody can go their separate ways. So, but in the very next statement, they are spending the next 2 hours talking about everything that went wrong.
He shock you.
So I'm not surprised that there's contradictions there. That's fine. Chia says, lesson, checking on the temperature of the marriage from time to time is important. Absolutely. We talked about that earlier. So a lot of the lessons that I shared when I was talking about George Greg Mattis, we apply here because it's another empty nester situation, right? That's what we're dealing with. All right. Let's see. Sarah Loge says, like you say, MOP, emotions will be your mate. Yes. Thank you, Sarah Loge. Thank you. I do say that a lot. Complacency crept in. Yes. In 20 years, I'm willing to guarantee, I'm willing to bet my monthly livelihood that complacency has crept in multiple times over. Now, the way we define complacency can be off sometimes. Oftentimes, we're talking about when a man is no longer paying attention to the emotional needs of the woman. We don't always talk about when women are not paying attention. No, we don't. And we need to probably talk more about that.
Beauty.
All right. We need to talk more about that. Okay. Now, women have a lot on their plates. We also never talk about how men have a lot on their plates, because we're always equating have a lot on their plates to house chores making the homemaking, but we don't talk about, we don't often talk about the kind of weight that men carry. But I've shared a few with you here. I do take some time to do that sometimes. But complacency actually creeps in from all angles, not just the two sides, but from all types of angles. People just start to take each other for granted, which is why we need to be intentional about mitigating that. It's not because a person is an evil person, it's not because they are the devil, okay? It's because it's see finish. It's just natural. It's just natural order of things. So when you are aware of that, you will fix the issue. You will come up with better solutions. I suppose this person is just your enemy. You'll come up with better solutions. Renewing your mind. Okay. The stories you've been telling yourself. Shout out to, I think, let me see if I can find this and play this. Shout out to, I love Sam Adeyemi, Pastor Sam Adeyemi. I love him. All right. I love his hands down, right? My favorite of all time. How am I going to be able to access this story, yo? Because I'm live right now on Instagram. I might not be able to access the story. Let me see. Yeah, I can't because I'm live on Instagram too, so I won't be able to access my story. But let me see if I can go there and play it. Let me go to his page. So he posted a video earlier on today. Yeah, let me just go ahead and play it. Just listen real quick.
Raining and hello, it's raining, and it reminds me of something that happened many years ago when I was walking on the road and someone splashed water on me. Ordinarily, before I would just have said thief, but I responded differently this time. I said, in this city, we will drive these beautiful cars together. Are you like I used to be believing that for someone to be very successful, they have to be crooked? The problem with that is that it puts something in the mind that hinders us from rising beyond a particular point. To really change your life, you need to change the story that you tell yourself, because inside that story is the label that you put on yourself. And what you believe is what you become. So today, change the story that you tell yourself. It is not what happens to us that hurts us. It is how we respond that really hurts us. Cheers. Hello, it's raining and it reminds me.
It is how we respond that really hurts us. Right? The stories you've been telling yourself. The stories you've been telling yourself are easily justifiable because you're a normal human being. So of course you feel like you're right. Like, I'm not here to argue with you if you're right or not or wrong. You guys should know that about this platform already, right? So yes, not to. She's just confused and in denial. The stories you've been telling yourself, renew your mind, because if you don't renew your mind, the stories you'll be telling yourself will create terrible solutions for you, will create terrible reactions for you. And unfortunately, you will continue to be responsible for your reactions. Your reactions are actions you are responsible for. Chidima says she didn't talk when she noticed the first red flag. Uncle keeping late night. She was being understanding. Probably didn't want to be called a nag. Yes. Yep. So again, when you call out certain things in relationships, oftentimes, this could be any side, okay? Oftentimes, when you call out the other person or you try to correct them, it's not well received, because they don't like the feeling that they're wrong, so they'll take it out back on you. And then before you know it, you don't want the rejection, you don't want their mouth, you just kind of leave it alone. So you leave the complacency be. Unfortunately, it's probably going to blow up in your face at some point because it becomes resentment. It's still stuff that bothers you, right? So pushing stuff under the rug is something that a lot of couples do. Yep. So yes, potentially she was being called a nag, or she doesn't want to be called a nag. One of the two. She doesn't want advice, but we are learning from it. It is well. That's it. Yep. That's my pastor. I love him. I bet you. That's your pastor for real? You go to Daystar. I'm jealous of you. That's my pastor. I love him and his wife so much. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So in terms of, so I thought we were unbreakable until everything fell apart. Okay, so now in terms of how to mentally prepare for marriage, despite this kind of stories, Again, it's just self-awareness is key. Okay, self-awareness is key. It's very, very important. Okay, it's very, very important that you understand what self-awareness means. Self-awareness it's not as simple as we like to make it. It can be very difficult. Okay, now you need to understand that marriage is not your fairy tale. Marriage is just part of life. It's a function of the people inside of it. Okay, so you need to first, here's the first lesson. Here's how you mentally prepare. Okay, marriage is not a fairy tale. And it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just part of life. Okay, right? So just like in life, it's not going to be all beds of roses. Like it's not. Like don't expect that. So manage your expectations around that. Marriage is not the same thing as wedding. Nigerian people will have a tendency to use marriage and wedding interchangeably. They are not the same thing. Wedding is the ceremony, that 1 day or 2 day or three-point ceremony for us Nigerians, right? But no more than three at most. It's more it's not it has they're not the same thing. Okay, marriage is different. Marriage is beautiful. Okay, marriage has a lot of benefits to it. As a matter of fact, there's lots of benefit to it. All right, hold on guys, just making sure we don't get noise filtering through. All right. In terms of what are the benefits of marriage, I like to review it every now and then. There's 7 purposes of marriage on the screen. Romance, obviously. Let nobody in 2024 try to tell you that marriage is not about romance. Okay, you go collect. Eventually, social intelligence will eat you up alive. You will envy people who look like romance. Okay, so it is, and attraction is necessary. Okay, number 2, companionship. Same reason. Number 3, family and legacy. Number 4, multiplying and nation building. Number 5, legal life hack. Meaning you benefit more from this society when you're married. Okay, but if you are healthily married, okay, because the emotional turmoil of being in a toxic marriage, no be here. It's not your mate. Number 6, significance and recognition is real. This is why people are arguing with their destiny and asking, is it an achievement? Is that an achievement? That's where the argument is coming from. You know why? Because it represents significance and recognition. It is what it is. Starting with the wedding. Number 7, personal growth. These are the reasons why marriage is highly valued. And by the way, they are paying people money in some countries. Hungary, I was going to cover that today, but Hungary, Japan, and there's one other country that are actually paying people money to get married. I know. So number 1, understand that marriage is not a fairy tale. That's how you prepare your mind. Number 2, emotional and psychological preparation is going to take a toll on you. I don't care how much premarital counseling you've gone through. It can help mitigate. Self-awareness can help mitigate, but the emotional and psychological impact of marriage is real. So it's very important. Again, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, emotional resilience, realistic and managed expectations are key. So number 2, emotional and psychological preparation. These are some things that you should pay attention to. All right. Number 3. Remember I was talking about social intelligence earlier, right? Well, to prepare yourself for marriage, you need to understand that you will also need to manage external influences. If it's not the fact that you're a celebrity, to be the in-laws, including your own parents. Yes. Okay. Sometimes your own parents, you say something into your head. Before you know, you just be thinking basketballs with your spouse. Like, yeah, it's true. Like that's true. They will just say one little small thing. They mean well, but they will say something small like this. Before you know it, you will find yourself considering getting home to go and do basketballs, because the way you justify it is that you want to go and correct. Voila. Can you please elaborate on the benefits of marriage in real time? I probably will do another session on that. There's another video that's due that I need to elaborate more on that. If you have any specifics of it that you want me to talk on, I will talk about that. But 7 purposes of marriage. But me, I always preach healthy marriages, because all those purposes will end up in the ditch if you're not in a healthy marriage. Okay. What else do we have here as some of the lessons? I gave 2 already. So, Chidima, are you taking notes so I can recap? All right. So, I have 4 things in terms of preparing for marriage. I have 4. So number 3rd one I'm on right now is you need to be aware that you will need to learn. There's actual skills around navigating external influences, starting with extended family. Extended family are external influences with respect to the marriage you created. Like, that's just common sense. If you like common sense, right? Okay. So obviously you need to be aware of how you interpret the kind of stories you tell yourself because of societal portrayal of marriage, the false narratives. I covered 17 false beliefs here yesterday. Go review that. The views on that is less than 150. If I was talking about Yellow Doche, it would have like 900. You see your lives? All right. But me, I'm not shaking though. I'm here for a mission. I must stay focused. Anyway, so false narratives can create, those false narratives and false belief systems you're creating for yourself can create unnecessary pressure. Well, necessary pressure. If you get through the pressure, you grow to another level. If you use the pressure to tell yourself false stories, you will collect. You just show your partner shege for no reason, for a real reason, because you don't know any better, because you're ignorant. Literally, you're not educated on how this works. Number 4, okay. Obviously, this is the easy part that most people talk about that, but they don't really know how it works. Healthy communication and conflict resolution skills. This number 4 is definitely the definition of last but not the least. Okay, this is the definition of last but not the least. Let me see if I can get it off my notes directly for you guys. Yes, so yo, don't collect. What do? Yes. So number 1 that you need to prepare yourself. Shout out to Bosu Juliana. Marriage is not a bed of roses at all, and also not a game for the immature people. Yes, absolutely. If you don't want to become mature, and I don't mean mature that you agree to, as in do self-assessment first before you can tell me if you are mature. Right? You can't just say, oh yeah, I think I'm mature. No, it doesn't work like that. You actually do self-assessment. Yeah, especially if you're a very smart, intelligent person and you have common sense. That's exactly when you need to do self-assessment with respect to how marriage works. Okay. So number 1, understanding marriage is not a fairy tale. Chidima is busy. Don't worry, I got it. I'll lift it. Thank God I prepared today, unlike the other day when I was counting. But yes, shout out to you guys for always helping me though. Where I doubt. Okay, yeah. Looking for my notes. So the second thing that you need to prepare for. Oh, this is especially true if you've been divorced. Okay. If you have been divorced, you have coconuted naturally. Okay, you're probably more focused on how the other person is wrong. If you are a typical person, if you've been working on yourself, you already know what I'm talking about right now. Number 2, emotional and psychological preparation. This is where the common sense end up straight inside of the what. Yeah. Smart, intelligent, assertive people. Sorry. They're the one that collects the most. You remember Tyrese, right? Tyrese, would you say Tyrese is an intelligent person? Of course.
Sorry.
Anyway, number 3, navigating external influences, starting with your mother and your father. Listen to me carefully, especially if you think your mother and father, they are the most innocent. I'm not saying they're still not innocent too. Remember, this is not about good or bad people. It's about learning that there are skill sets that you need to manage the forces behind the scenes when life is just lifing. Okay? That's what it's about. Okay. So in terms of number 4, we have developing healthy communication and conflict resolution skills. Okay. Conflict resolution is not me I talk, you I talk, me I talk, you I talk, and the elder will now decide who is right and wrong.
These nuts.
You see how we're doing? You see what we're doing to ourselves? Sorry, all those tables are broken. They obviously didn't work. Many of you know you've tried them, they didn't work. You don't collect.
Sorry.
You know they didn't work now. So don't argue with your destiny. You know that you tried that, and when you came back, it was good for another week or two because you were respecting your elders. 2 months later, you're back in the same place. Yeah, exactly. So maybe we should start paying attention. All right. Start by downloading books. Go download the books. Okay, they are free. All right, they are free at manofprestige.com. That's all I have for you today. That's it. That's all I have for you today. That's all I have for you today. Any questions? Any questions? I really feel good about today's session. I really feel good because we cover some trendy stuff, but they're all aligned all the way through into the masterclass session. So I'm really, really happy. Thank you, Uncle Beno. I'm really, really happy about today's session. I think even me, I got some really cool reminders today because I'm telling you, I'm just like you. My coconut head no be here. I promise you. I promise you. I'm just like you. So of course, listen, I have, you know how you say you have more degrees than a thermometer. That's me. But all those things got checked when it comes to marriage. All right. And it's not because my wife was just being you. It wasn't that simple. If it was that simple, my common sense would have helped a long time ago. Would have helped a long time ago. So yes, the 7 purposes of marriage is something that I need to prepare properly, and then I'll bring that up, as a separate video at some point. But everything we covered today, every segment we covered today, either Tyrese, George, Greg Mathis, about 4 different segments, right? And then is it 4 or 3? Well, 3, right? And then how to mentally prepare for marriage, that story that I covered. This is one of those ones you need to watch all over again. This is one of them you need to watch all over again. And the live stream that we did yesterday, the 17 lessons, the 17 debunked myth that I learned over the last 17 years, that video must have 1,000 views. If it doesn't have 1,000 views, there you have it. That's why everybody's the collector inside of marriage. But right now, it has like 130 or something like that. That's what it has right now. Let me check. That video has 143. Yeah, 143. Right? And I'm actually going to tell you what the numbers are. Okay? It's boring for obvious reasons because it's the work. It's the work. So, but go watch that video. I also will release it as a standalone on Friday at 5 p.m. So, but that video, in terms of about 1,400 people actually literally scrolled through it. 1,400 people saw it and scrolled through it. Some of them might have saved it as watch later, right? But I'm just letting you know. About 2.9% of those people actually clicked on it to watch it. You know what? Because it's boring. Right? So I'm just letting you know these are some of the issues. So, Ola, are you trying to manipulate us? Go and watch it. Precisely. Yes, go and watch it. Exactly. Bumi says, I will go watch it. Yes, go and watch it. Question: how soon should a woman bring up an issue to avoid nagging? Immediately. So immediately. It's not the nagging is your how to communication. Right? If somebody is interpreting you as nagging, there's a good chance that you haven't been listening for a long time, and they are basically they might be interpreting that as all their past experience up to now. So if you notice that it's been a consistent thing that they call you nag all the time, you need to slow down on the talking all the way. Completely slow down. You need to take some time off for yourself. So you probably need to stop talking for a while. Okay. but you need to listen a little bit more. You need to listen a little bit more. But you should at least take note of the issue. So it's how you communicate, right? Are you asking open-ended question? Do you have a concern? Do you know how to communicate? So it depends on the specific of what the issues are. But the nagging is how you're talking, like how they're receiving you, right? That's what it's about. So it's a loaded question, right? So he gets to interpret it as nagging. You don't get to define it. So you might think you're just bringing up real issues, but if he's receiving it as nagging, then that's nagging. That's just what that is, right? So it's how you talk to him. A lot of times, people that are complaining that their husband is saying they're nagging, they also tend not to know the love language of their husband. Sorry,
you will end up in McDonald's.
Go and do your husband's assessment. Get them to the table. Say, I have a game that we should play. Get them to play it. Oh, he doesn't like that. Use your seduction skills. Give you some that night. Learn his love language. Things will get a lot more easier. At least start with that. Okay. You get broad self-assessment. Mature is not age, but of mind and intelligence. Yes. There's definitely more to maturity than age. Definitely more to maturity than age. For real, please elaborate on the benefits of marriage. I can just tell you my life story. Maybe me as I did here right now, I have soft life. That's part of the benefit of marriage. I'll do another session on it. Gary MOP, thanks for the answer. Very educative. Thank you. I agree with effective communication is the ultimate. That's it. If you are nagging as well, you will live in that house alone. Would rather hang out with my boys or hang out in the car. You too, you deserve to hang out in the car. If all you want to do is call your wife a nag, he speaks to you. Uncle Beno, you know that's my angle. Don't get me started. A man calling his wife nag is a man that lacks self-respect. If he doesn't know what he's doing, it will result to what he needs, though. Because if he's looking for peace of mind, he'll go and find it, though. I'm just saying. But a man who is calling his wife a nag also does not have the skills. Struggling too. Did you watch 2 video Dear Future Wife did with Gary Chapman? Me, I will not watch that video. It's the first thing I watched. I have not seen any Dear Future Wife for the last 7 episodes. When I saw Gary Chapman, immediately, everybody should go and watch that. Immediately. It's an 86-year-old man now. 30 million books sold. 50 books, right? And we still have human beings arguing with their destiny in the name of it's not our culture. Hey. Okay. He actually spoke to the cultural aspect of things. Obviously, the assessment, 5 love languages assessment it won't be as close as traditional men want it to be to our culture, but it's good enough. You just have to be open-minded enough, and I think everybody should take that assessment, especially if you're struggling inside of marriage. And your quality of life is lower if you don't work on your marriage. It's lower than you can, you're better off being single. Maybe that's what Adebusala is saying. You're better off being single, living in a marriage that's not making you feel fulfilled. It's not worth it. Do something about it. Don't wing it. In the words of my wife, I don't know how many African men will agree with this concept. Let me ask you that question again, Junjun. How many of husbands have you had again, Junjun? Tell me. Answer the question again. You gave me an answer. A very interesting answer. How many Nigerian husbands have you had in your lifetime? Beyond braids. African men husbands. The new one they did today, 5 love languages of forgiveness or something like that. Yes, No. I need to catch that one. But 5 languages of forgiveness is the real deal. I'm going to go catch that one. Uncle Ben said, I disagree, boss. You already spoke to women to stop nagging. No man can take nagging, and that's a basis for saying he lacks skills. No, any man that's complaining that his wife is nagging lacks skills. That's literally what he's saying. He's literally telling you that I don't know how to influence my wife. It's not me that said it now. He literally just said it. He said, my wife is nagging. I don't know how to influence my wife to stop nagging. Listen to that now, Uncle Beno. Say it back to me. I don't know how to. It's the same thing. It's equivalent of each other. Synonymous. My wife is nagging. I don't know how to influence my wife to stop nagging. It's lack of skills now. Please pay attention to this nagging thing. Women don't even know when they do that. They're not supposed to know. That's why I told them that if it's receiving you as nagging, it's effectively nagging. You should pay attention to that as a woman. Start with finding out what his love language is. That's full stop at that point, because I don't have any extra information around the story. That's full stop at that. But a man who is walking around the city talking about my wife nags, that's a man who doesn't know what he's doing. See, when I like balance, small now, let me do a little balance, especially when it's the leaders of the family. I need to balance it, because this man, even if your wife is guilty, you go collect.
Sorry, yo.
You go collect. You will lose more. You lose more. So you can't afford to not get your own lessons when women are getting lessons, right? But you always say focus on the lesson. I know. I can't help myself. Whenever I see an angle where my brothers can learn, I like to point them out on this platform. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate you. 719, we did well today. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, share this on Twitter, share this everywhere. There's a share button below this video. Please help me share this with everybody else. Let's ginger the algorithms. Let's wake it up. It's sleeping right now. Let's wake it up. Okay, let's wake it up. Thank you so much. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. Yeah, I'm tired. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve.